And welcome to another edition of OnSide SA, where we're keeping you up to speed with what's happening. Champions League has started. We'll be talking to our international pundit. He's in the studio in London, Stevie B. Budgie's here, and Budgie always start off with the last one standing.
Yep.
A good week for the players.
Yes, 123 went through. Only the Everton guys, I thought they were disgraceful. I couldn't believe what I was watching. A couple of guys were robbed on Southampton. I didn't think it was a penalty, and Rory Murphy went out on Huddersfield. He was robbed because they were stiff against Palace.
They were stiff, yeah. So the Everton boys, the Southampton and the Huddersfields. 123 got through. Powers has got 5.
5 for 5. I spoke to him yesterday. He's very quiet.
Is he putting them all on one team, or is he spreading them?
No, mix and match.
Mix, so he's doing well.
He's doing well, yeah.
And then Mark Jackson.
Yeah, our man Thriller, yeah, he's doing all right.
Yeah, he's got
four choices, yeah.
Full Giorgio 3.
Yeah, 3 for 3 for very sneaking through.
Yeah, for Greece.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Stevie B, is he on the line? Hello, Stevie, you there?
I'm here. Good morning.
Morning, Steve.
All right. Stevie, we're going to take you through a few things, but we're going to just start off with the Champions League. And obviously, I sat through Inter Milan and Tottenham, and Tottenham have got to do something different. They were
Well, I was going to say, for sort of 85 minutes, you were probably thinking, okay, job done.
Yeah. It again, a set piece. The set pieces are killing them. They can't defend corners. I don't know what it is.
Was, in the context of the group, that's a poor result.
Yeah.
I think they're up against it, Tottenham, now to qualify.
Yeah, they've got to play Barcelona, but
Barcelona at home next, so tough game.
Liverpool, PSG, good game.
Yeah. I mean, Liverpool really came out the blocks, and I mean, it was, there's no question that was a key result for them, because if they can get sort of 4 points off Napoli, then they're pretty much going to go through.
Yeah.
So that was a huge game, big performance, and I think against obviously one of Europe's fancied teams.
Yeah, I'm disappointed a little bit in PSG, Steve. I thought Neymar was invisible. I think they're a team full of mercenaries. Big money there. I don't know how much team spirit is in the camp, because there's just too many people doing their own thing.
Well, it's interesting, because listening sort of after the game, some of the pundits, and I think Liverpool have played a few tough games this year. They've come through them. PSG have cruised through, the French La Ligue, and it's they just. I think that for them to raise their game, they've got to raise way above what they normally do on a sort of week in, week out basis. And I think you're right. Players like Neymar, he should be doing it in the big game. There's no point scoring hatfuls against some of the lower league French teams. But you're right. I mean, Mbappe scored a good goal, but otherwise, I think they have got too many players there on far too much money and sort of far too big sort of transfer fees. So.
Yeah, I think that's the problem with them and Bayern Munich. They don't face any decent competition week to week, and they get the big guns in Europe, and they don't stay in. They get knocked out.
Yeah.
What about yesterday, Stevie? Man City, bit of a shock defeat at home to Lyon.
It was a poor performance as well as a poor result. It does make you wonder sort of why he's got the Aguero and Sane not starting. You really think that they want to start with their best players, the players who can unlock the defence. And until they came on in the second half, City really were labouring. And I thought Lyon played very well. I was very surprised at how good they were. I mean, their finishing was sharp. They always looked dangerous on the counter-attack. And although they sat probably a bit too deep in the second half, City really didn't create much.
Yeah, I just saw the highlights, Steve. It's been coming for Man City. Defensively, they spent a couple of $100 million. I'm still not convinced how good they are at the back, especially centrally.
Well, I mean, there were on more than one occasion, Lyon sort of cut them open with some super passes, and there was one in the second half where he completely split the defence, and Depay was unlucky. Edison got just a touch on the ball, pushed it onto the post. Otherwise, that would have been game over earlier.
Yeah.
But I think City are fortunate in that they're in a group that they've got a chance of winning most of the games. I think if they were in a group with the Barcelonas of this world, I think they'd have been in trouble. But still they've got Shakhtar and Hoffenheim. I think it's still very much in their hands.
Yeah, no doubt.
What about the young boys in United, Steve? United didn't get a few wins.
I watched the beginning of that, and young boys looked really up.
A lot of early pressure.
Once Pogba scored, it was pretty much game over, and United, for what I saw, were very comfortable in the second half. So it was, the result was more important than the performance in some respects, and I think that was a good result for them.
Yeah, I see you rotated his team. I'm just surprised that UEFA let teams play on that type of surface. That looked like they were playing on a carpet.
It really didn't look a good surface. It was it's a sort of surface that players can injure themselves. But and maybe it took a few minutes for United to sort of adjust to it. But overall, I say it was to win anywhere in the group stage, by 3 goals. It was a good performance, and obviously Juventus up next, possibly without Ronaldo.
Yeah, what did you think of the red card?
Oh, I thought it was a little bit harsh. Whether they're going to appeal against it, I don't know. But I think that's, it's a shame for him, and obviously a shame for United fans not to see him again. Although they'll probably be pleased he's not playing.
Yeah.
But and I don't know whether it's a 1 or a 3 match ban. So
it sounded he's going to miss both games. So I don't know how that works.
He could do if it's a 3 match ban. So but it's still a good result for Juventus to play sort of best part of an hour with 10 men. They did well.
Yeah, I know Valencia are struggling this year in the league. I think they fourth bottom. I watched them the other day. I don't know if they've lost a few players, but they're not the same team they were last year. And I can't see them, beating United or Juventus. Europa League looks their aim.
You think that it is looking like it's going to be a United Juventus 1-2.
Yeah.
And obviously, depending on how United sort of do against them in Turin as to whether they can top that group.
Yeah. Okay, Steve. Just on the outrights, we've obviously seen who would be your tip to win it.
Well, look, it's every year it's hard.
Yeah, it's still early, I know.
One of the big, it's going to be there or thereabouts. It's going to be Real Madrid again. They're going to be there. Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
I think going to be there. I mean, I do rate them very highly in Europe. I think Liverpool will give it a good go again. But for what I can't see either of the Manchester clubs at this moment in time. You thought possibly City, but
it's still early, the group stage. Steve, on to the Premiership. I saw a stat that your man Mitrovic is the leading goal scorer in England since February. Is that right?
Yeah. Well, in the Premier League this season, he's joint leading, and overall, I think since 1st of Jan, he's sort of leading goal scorer. But that isn't our big problem is scoring. Our problem at the moment is getting a settled defence. We've not played the same back four in any game. We've still got one player out injured. Mawson has just come in. Hopefully he'll start to settle. But he swapped it around again at City, and I'm very surprised that he played Ryan Sessegnon at left back.
Yeah, it didn't make sense.
And he had a bit of a torrid time against Sterling because he the best one in the world. Although he's quick, Sessegnon, left back is not his position.
True.
So I'm hoping that he'll revert to slightly different formation when we play Watford on Saturday lunchtime.
Yeah, at least I was glad that he went there and had a go. Most teams go there and try and park the bus.
I think that's fair. To be fair, I mean, obviously, when you go a goal down after 2 minutes,
yeah,
sort of right
shocking.
Ball, but it was nice. Pep Guardiola was very complimentary afterwards.
Yeah.
I think there was no question. We just haven't quite got the mindset to go and park the bus. We're not very good at that.
Yeah.
Maybe we should have done that at Brighton when we were 2-0 up the previous week. But so I'm hoping on Saturday. I think there'll be goals on Saturday. Watford. Pretty big, strong, physical team. I suspect they will bully us a little bit, but we've got to play like we did against Burnley and go at them.
Yeah, I agree. Steve, talking to Burnley, I watched them against Wolves. I've never seen a team get outplayed that badly in my life.
Yeah.
You think they can rebound against Bournemouth?
Yeah, I mean, they really are finding it hard. I think the Europa League matches haven't helped them. They look a little bit tired. I just think they've been, they had such a good season last season, and it was obviously always going to be hard for them to replicate that. Yeah. But they are just struggling. I mean, they're conceding, they're not scoring, and at the moment they're sort of, I think they're in a position which probably does justify their form.
Yeah, talking to teams that were disgraced on the weekend, I couldn't believe what I saw from Everton. I know Richarlison comes back. You think he can help them much against Arsenal?
Well, I was very surprised at how poor they were, and West Ham sort of were fairly comfortable. But they missed some chances, though, Everton. I mean, Tosin missed a couple of great chances.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
I think, had they gone in sort of slightly earlier, it might have been a different game, but it certainly gave West Ham the fillip they needed, because obviously West Ham have got some tough games coming up. I think if they'd have lost that and gone playing Chelsea and United on the back of 5 defeats, that would have been quite painful. So.
Steve, what do you think Liverpool will do? At every Liverpool support, you can see them. They're bouncing all over town, especially in Durban.
Look, I mean, at the moment, it's interesting. I mean, they're all scoring goals. Salah hasn't quite got his scoring boots on, but the goals are coming everywhere else. I mean, I thought at Wembley last weekend, I mean, they could have wrapped that game up much earlier. And in the end, sort of Tottenham sort of scored and had a little bit of a go at the end. But Liverpool looked quite comfortable.
Yeah, you think he'll rotate his team this week?
Sorry?
Will he rotate his team? What do you think?
I think he may rest one or two, but obviously, you don't like to change a winning formula too much. So, I mean, Firmino came on late. He may start with him. I mean, that's it's a game that I think they're going to be fancied that they should win. I think they'll just sort of keep the pressure on the other teams around them by winning.
Stevie, one thing I wanted to ask you about is picked up an article that Leicester players, they were very angered by travelling by bus to Bournemouth, and it took 5 hours?
Yeah, I mean, surprisingly, sort of nowadays, it's a lot of teams that they either fly down or they come down the day before and stay and relax, and I'm sure that didn't really help them. And if they were feeling a little bit sort of uncomfortable about the journey, then it showed, because they were completely swept away in the first half.
They were.
And that was a very, for me, that was a bit of a surprising result, because Leicester were playing quite well, but conceded 4, and it could have been more.
Yeah, the Man United players caught a train back.
Yeah, we caught the train, yeah.
They caught the train back from Watford back to Manchester.
Yeah, that's not uncommon either, I think, because actually the train journey, the right connection is quicker.
Yeah, it's 2 hours,
Yeah, it is quicker in comfort.
So they get met at the other end by the coach. I mean, it's not as if they're going to then get off and sort of travel on public transport after that. So, I think it's, I think clubs sort of travel all sort of different ways, but it's you'd have expected them to have, travelled in the most luxurious way possible, or most efficient way possible for the players, because say 5 hours on a bus, it's a little, conditions are a bit cramped. I'm sure they weren't very happy at all about that.
Yeah, Stevie, before we go, we've got to ask you about Fulham. I watched Watford. They beat Spurs. They came back very strong against Man United with strong Lee. A tough game?
I think it will be a tough game. It's, sort of pre-season, when we sort of saw the fixture, I thought, well, this is one that we can get, hopefully we can sort of target to get 3 points. I think it will be tough. I think Watford have played very well this season. They're a physical team. They don't give up, and showed against United. They finished very strongly, and they're dangerous in set pieces. So I think it will be a tough game. I think we're going to have to play very well. Obviously we'd love to win it. The important thing is for us, it's a game we mustn't lose. We need to start picking up points, because wherever we can.
Yeah, so you only got 4 points. No, I agree, Steve, that Watford, but they give you chances. I think they're a bit dodgy at the back, and I like the way you guys...
I think you're right. I think it's they seem to be they look a pretty fit team, because they're finishing strongly in games. Yeah. So I think it's the sort of game that we need to take the game to them early on. And take our chances, because I think that's been an area where a little bit of concern. We're creating chances, but we've just got to maybe be a little bit more clinical. But I think there'll be goals, certainly. I don't think our defence will keep a clean sheet. So I'm hoping we'll win. I think it will be high scoring though. Maybe 3, 4 or 5 goals in the game.
Yeah, I agree. Steve, West Ham, Chelsea to end it up. What do you think? Upset again?
I mean, West Ham, on paper, you think Chelsea will win that. Obviously, they've got a long trip to Greece tonight, when they're playing in Europa. I understand that Hazard has been rested. I think, but West Ham have got a good record against Chelsea. They beat them last year completely. Surprisingly, especially buoyed by sort of winning. I think it'll be close, but I still think Chelsea will go there and pit them. I think Chelsea is showing a little bit of form at the moment. So.
Agree. All right, Steve.
Stevie, wonderful talking to you, pal. And we'll keep in touch and get all the graft for us, please.
Absolutely. You take care.
Thanks very much, Stevie. All the best, Steve. Right, let's move on. I see we've got a lot of championship games here.
Championship, we start as usual with the Premiership, Paul. Stevie's team's first up. They played lunchtime tomorrow. They play
Friday.
Saturday. Sorry, Saturday lunchtime. Fulham Watford. I agree. I think there's plenty of goals in this. You know, I looked at taking 19-10 Watford, but Fulham are capable of scoring 2 or 3.
Yeah.
You know, United should have been 4 or 5 up at half time.
It should be a good game.
Should be a good game. I like the early kick-off. Two London
early kick
teams.
is always great.
You know.
Yeah.
My doubt is, you know, Bournemouth, and I couldn't understand, Paul, because we were on Leicester last time.
Yeah, and they got thumped.
And they got thumped, and everyone was having a go at me. How do you tip Leicester? And I knew there was something behind it. But, you know, Bournemouth had 5 shots, scored 4 goals. This is a big game for Burnley. I couldn't believe how they got a pounding last week.
They were murder.
It should have been 5 or 6. And they had one chance when it was
like
1
a relegation material.
Yeah, that's the worst performance I've ever seen them.
They're coming out of
but
top
Sean
6.
Dyche, a lot of experienced players, you know, Joe Hart and those
He's
guys.
going to have to go back to parking the bus a bit and
he's got,
playing the big boy up front.
Yeah, well, he's got 2 big boys.
He's got a couple,
so,
that's right.
I expect to draw in this game, Paul. You know, Burnley can't afford to get beat at home. And Bournemouth are a soft touch at times. I know they're very quick, but... You know, it wouldn't surprise me if Burnley get back on...
They've done well.
Good job, Eddie Howe, yeah.
How about Cardiff? How many are they going to catch? Or can they park the bus?
Well, I don't think you can park the bus against City. You know, and especially with that result last night, you know they're going to come out. I saw 7 or 10 City to win both halves. You know, I think this is a 4-5 job. But you know, Cardiff had a go against Arsenal.
Yeah, 3-2.
You know, 3-2. They're a little bit unlucky not to sneak a point.
I think the boss there is an old shrewd
Neil
man.
Warnock, but Man City should be too good for this.
Yeah, should be too good. The champions versus the newcomers.
Yep.
Crystal Palace doing well, bud.
Well, Sahar, the stat before last week, he'd missed the last 11 games and they'd lost all 11. So you know his value to Crystal Palace. I think Newcastle have got it in them to upset one of these games.
They've got to put it together now, Butch.
There's no more playing the top teams, parking the bus. He's got to have a go.
He's got to have a go. If he doesn't come away with a point here, there'll be a lot of pressure.
Yeah, I think he's under pressure anyway, obviously from the management. But
Leicester, Huddersfield, Budge?
It's got to be Leicester, Paul. But Huddersfield were unlucky last week. Couple of goals hit the bar.
He's good, that German coach.
They've only scored 2 goals this year, but... You know, I think this goal's a game. Leicester will come back fired up. Vardy's back.
Yeah.
Don't be surprised. High-scoring game, but it's got to be Leicester.
Liverpool should beat
You know, he's got to rotate his team, Paul. You know, I saw the players coming off. They were knackered. You know, giving everything.
They're good at home, though.
Good at home. You know, I think they've kept 7 clean sheets in a row at Anfield. You know, unbeaten. It should be too good. 1-5.
Yeah. Southampton are trying hard. They're getting players forward, but they haven't got the players.
No, not the quality to upset.
Man United, now Wolves have, maybe we're just getting sort of swamped by Wolves' great performance against Burnley.
Yeah, but also Man City, Paul, they drew 1-1 with Man City. I know Aguero hit the bar in the last.
The Portuguese boys they got, Neves.
Well, the goalkeeper plays for Portugal. You know, Neves is a good player, Little Martinho. Yeah. You know, he signed good players that can play.
Yeah. So can they give them a game? Can they pull a point?
Well, hopefully not. But, you know, I just noticed Mourinho last night rested a few players.
He's got a big enough
Lingard.
squad,
Lingard was on the bench and Fellaini was dropped because Matic misses out.
We still want to sit there and see a very good performance from Man United.
Yeah, I thought the first half was the best we've played in years, Paul.
Against Watford or yesterday?
Against Watford.
Yeah,
last night was...
Watford, the longer went, it's only going to be a draw.
Yeah. But, you know, it should have been 4 or 5 at half-time.
Yeah, they played well there.
So at home... Paul, we can't beat Wolves at home. Well, then we don't want to. You shouldn't be in the top 4.
You lost to Huddersfield at home last year.
No, we lost to West Brom.
West Brom, same thing. Relegated goats.
But,
okay, Brighton. They seem to get out points at home.
Yeah, they've only lost 1 in the last 10 at home, and that was to Leicester. Spurs are going to cane somebody.
I think Tottenham.
Not Harry Kane, no pun intended.
Yeah.
But,
I think Spurs are going to win here. I'm strong because they have to. They have 3 weeks in the first time in Pochettino's career. He's had 3 defeats in a row. It's never happened before. He shouldn't have lost the last one. He should have lost to Liverpool, and he shouldn't have lost the one before. So now I'm on those sites.
Yeah.
They're having a go at him now and saying, time to rest Kane.
Yeah.
Put the 2 speed balls up front. Yeah. You know, have a go. Get until Kane comes right. Yeah. Bring him on as a bit player. That's right. I'm reading all the articles.
Yeah. Have the article, your guys, have they had a go at Vaughan, the goalkeeper?
Oh, shouldn't be in there. You know, they have a go. Aurea, Sissoko, Vaughan. The 3 that have a go. And I agree with him.
Yeah.
Vaughan was murder.
Yeah.
Murder. He's just not up to it. You know, you can't play once every month, basically, over a year. Not good enough. When is the Frenchman coming back? The puking Frenchman?
Who knows, Paul,
Lloris.
They'll be hoping in a couple of weeks' time.
He said, I was just over the limit. They found puke in his chariot and everything. How much over the limit? Did he take it after he'd Jeff duked?
No, shame. He's
a good player and he's captain of the team and he's an international World Cup winner. But
I think they're just going to launch it straight at him, Paul. You know, Brighton, they're good and aerially. I think it's going to come.
Yeah, that's what all teams are going to do that. Sure. Okay, I still think Tottenham are a good bet here. West Ham,
Chelsea.
Interesting game. Interesting.
You know, remember last year West Ham was struggling. It was a lunchtime kickoff. And I remember the fans going to Olympic Stadium. And the one youngster said, "No, I think we win 1-0." With a good record against Chelsea, and they have. They won 3 of the last 4 times they've played Chelsea at home.
Oh.
But you know, Chelsea. I don't know
what was the score last year?
It was 1-0, and Arnautovic scored a good goal.
Notre Dame you found out?
No, youngster.
Yeah.
But you know, Chelsea. What are they going to do? You know, you'd expect him to rest all the main players Thursday night.
He's got to keep going in the sense of you build up a head of steam in the league. It stands you in great stead. You know,
he's got a lot of squad players. He's got 40 youngsters out on loan.
Yeah.
But London derbies, Paul.
Yeah, they're always tough. Yeah. Tough. Arsenal, Everton. I think it'll be a good game too because Everton are going to stand back. Mini Mourinho is going to say, "I can't accept what you dished up.
You can't.
You did create a few chances, but nowhere near enough." He did complain he had 8 players out, but he's going to have a few back.
Well, he's hoping to have a few back. You know, Richarlison comes back, the Brazilian. But Arsenal's record at the Emirates, Paul, I think the last 35 they've played at home, they've only lost 3. They lost 2 to two to Man City, 1 to United. Yeah, they're only the top team they've ever got anything at the Emirates. The rest of them get a hiding.
I haven't seen them as being great this year.
No, but I just think going forward they should have too much for Everton. I just think defensively they're weak, Arsenal. Everton at the back are a sieve.
Yeah, they've got to tighten up there. So that's that league, Budge.
Yep.
Right. What have we got
Championship next. Yeah, this should be a good game. You know, Wigan at home, Paul. Bristol City got a hiding from West Brom last night, 4-2. Wigan at home. Don't get beat. 4-2. It was 4-0 at one stage. It came back. You know, Wigan at home, Paul. I think there's goals in that game. A draw, a big player for me there. Now, Aston Villa, I couldn't believe the fans are on Steve Bruce's back. But they've signed the youngster Tammy Abraham. He's England under-21 international. He's back. He scored the other night. They beat Rotherham 2-0. Sheffield Wednesday are a funny team, Paul. Yeah, Villa don't get beat at Villa Park.
Yeah.
You know, it should be 6-10 Villa are a good thing, but they have a bad knack of conceding late, of tossing games, you know.
Derby County, they're doing all right.
Derby, Frank Lampard's team at home at Pride Park, they're always hard to beat. Brentford away from home. Well, they were second during the week, but they got beat away from home. Can't win away from home, Paul, Brentford.
Yeah.
So expect Derby 2-1. I think it's a good bet, but the draw obviously you've got to include this there. Ipswich, Bolton, 2 poor teams.
Bolton lost, didn't they?
Bolton, they've got a better record away from home than at home.
That's strange.
Ipswich just can't win a game. They're bottom of the league. Yeah, this is their chance to get on the winning track, Ipswich. You know, Bolton have lost their last few. Should be Ipswich
Leeds,
there.
top of the log?
Well, going well. They murdered Preston in midweek, 3-0. But Birmingham, Gary Monk, I saw the highlights this morning, Paul. They drew 0 and I think it was at Sheffield Wednesday. They've drawn their last 4 games.
The 20th,
Yeah, they haven't won this year, but there's a couple of games they should have won. Yeah, it should be Leeds, but the draws a lurker there. Birmingham will catch somebody one of these days. Middlesbrough, I think, will go straight up. 7 or 10s in our bets to beat Swansea.
Last night?
Yep, they cruised in last night. They won 2-0. I think they beat Bolton. Yeah, Notts Forest also.
They won again too.
They won a team. They'll be too good for Rotherham. Rotherham played 4 away games. Rubbish. Away from home, yes, they've lost all 4, but at home, that's what's going to keep them in the league. They got promoted last year by the playoffs, but Notts Forest, I think they'll be a playoff team, Paul. They're slow. They don't give many goals. It's Mourinho's mates there, Karanka. 6-10, I think it's a good thing. Now, Reading, they beat Preston last week. Apparently, they beat. You know, they got beat last night. Norwich beat them, but Norwich on the roll now. Norwich.
Yeah, 2-1. I think.
The boy up front scoring a few goals for them.
But, he's a good player.
Yeah, 14-10s in our bets. Paul Reading. If they can't beat Hull City at home, they can't beat anybody. Sheffield United should be too good for Preston.
What's wrong with your boys, Budge? They were pushing for playoffs last year. Another 20-something.
We sold our main striker. We're struggling. The only thing is we've got a good record against Sheffield United. You know, we came up together. A draw's the best I think we can get out of that game, Paul. But and I think Stoke will be too good for Blackburn. Slowly but surely they're getting their act together. They won in midweek.
17 plays, 14.
Yep, I think 9-10 is a good bet, Stoke. Okay. West Brom, I think, are absolute certainties to beat Millwall.
Millwall lost to QPR last night.
Yeah, I needed them in my bet, both teams to score. I was waiting for them to score. But QPR have come right under the Wally with the Brolly, as he's called, Steve McLaren.
Yeah, they have, They have.
You know, West Brom, I think, are good things there, Paul.
They've been Norwich both on the move.
Yeah, both on the move. I think it draws a player there, Paul. Yeah.
Okay.
QPR going well.
Let's have a look at our local soccer. Some interesting stuff. I listened to a plea from, I think it was Steve Compella saying, get behind Baxter. We're playing Seychelles. It's all, we got to get involved, guys. We've got to get ourselves sorted. So you've got to help the national coach because, you know, they drew with Libya, right?
Yeah, we drew here 0-0,
Okay, so but look at the games. Free State Stars got beaten by Chiefs.
Beat by
Chiefs are doing
Chiefs.
better.
Yeah, won the last couple, Paul. Unbeaten in 5.
And then Wednesday, Pirates beheld Cape Town City. Must have been a good game.
Yeah, 2-0 up Pirates, But Benny's team scored goals, Paul.
Yeah, that's right.
Benny, former striker, he's not hanging back.
Golden Arrows got beat by Sundowns.
Yeah, but Sundowns, Paul, they're out of CAF, they're out of the MTN8. Then you can be with Sundowns still to get beaten, yeah.
Let's look at the PSL standings.
Yeah.
What I dislike is the amount of games teams play. When you got the league leaders played in 13 and Sundowns, who are 5th, have played 9. But the points, just let people know out there, Bidvest Wits still going well, our boy.
Yeah, Gavin,
13 points with Bloem Celtic. They both play.
Celtic got a game in hand, though.
Have they?
Yeah,
they got a game in hand.
Wits played 6.
That's right.
Celtic 5,
Sorry,
yeah.
that's what I'm getting you. Though. 9 was
matches,
the points. Yeah. Orlando Pirates are there, Chiefs are there, 11 points and 10 points, but they both played 7 games.
Yeah.
So the top 2 got a bit of control in that, but on 5 games is Sundowns.
yeah.
And Budge at the bottom, Marisburg, what's going on?
Yeah, well, they sold a few players, Paul.
They've only played 4 matches.
Yeah, only
though.
played 4, but they're
2
struggling
points.
to score goal. Well, they drew their last 2 games. They drew with Wits at home and they drew with Chiefs at home.
Okay,
So
it's not the worst.
Yeah, but they've got a tough game this week.
Okay, Free State Stars, second last.
They won the Nedbank Challenge, Paul. I don't know what's gone wrong there. Even they got beat by
Who's
Chiefs
in
at
charge
home.
there?
That
That's
guy,
funny.
Luke Email, he's a Belgium guy.
Luke
Tell me
Email.
he's a bit of a
Yeah.
nutcase, but
Yeah.
chance
Chipper
this week.
United for
Well,
4
Tinkler's there
points.
now, Paul. Yeah, they won their last game. So
And
hopefully
then
he'll get them out of it.
Baraka.
Baraka, yeah.
Okay, let's have a look at the fixtures. Budge, tell me how you
Yeah,
view
11
these.
to 10, Paul. I think Wits at home don't get beat too often. Polokwane, one of those Jekyll and
good
Hyde
bet,
teams.
Wits.
But Wits, I think Friday night at Mill Park should be too good. Baraka Pirates, I think there's goals there, Paul. You'll notice
Baraka struggling.
Yeah. But Pirates just give teams chances, Paul. The last 9 games Baraka played at home, they've won 2, drawn 5 and lost 2. You'd think Pirates, if they're going to be contenders to win the crown, they've got to beat Baraka.
They've got to
but
beat
the draw is
Baraka.
obviously a big player in there. I like Arrows. They're competitive last night against Sundowns. Chipper's record away from home isn't the best, and in Kwamashu, I think Arrows will get up and grab them.
Yeah. I think Chiefs will win.
I saw the stat. The last 9 times they've played in Joburg, Chiefs have won 8 and drawn 1. Amazulu haven't beat them in the last 20 encounters.
Wow.
So they don't think
21.
Chiefs are back on a roll.
Yeah, make it
Fancy
21.
them. Now this is Free State Stars' chance. I can't believe the draw was 14 to 10. But then I looked at Highlands Park. They've played 5 league games, drawn 4 and won 1. So it's going to be a tight game.
They've never lost.
Never lost. Only played 5 games, are unbeaten, Owen Dagama's team. So I think 14 is a bit of a stretch. But if ever Free State Stars are going to do something, this is a game they should win. I like Celtic, Paul. Maritzburg don't score. Celtic played 5 games, won 4 and drawn 1. The draw was against Chiefs, where they came from 2 down to draw 2-2. 11 to 10 Celtic, but they don't score many goals themselves. That's the only problem.
Supersport 9 to 10.
Yeah, 9 to 10. I think there's goals in that game because they give you chances.
Yeah.
But Supersport at Lucas Marepi Stadium, hard to beat.
All right, let's look at your bets.
Yeah, we spent the customary 2-1-6 on the soccer 6. I've gone Pirates win and draw at Baraka. I've gone Golden Arrows win and draw against Chipper. I've banked Chiefs to beat Amazulu. I've gone the field with the Getafe Atletico Madrid. That's a Madrid derby. I've gone the field with Free State Stars and Highlands Park. And I think Real Madrid will be too good for Espanyol.
They won last night.
Yeah, 3-0. And you won't believe who was at Espanyol last Sunday. Nigel Swinbank.
Was he?
Sent me a photo from the stadium.
Michael Leaf sent me a photo too. It's actually a bit of a video clip.
Okay.
He's like me, a diehard Spurs man.
Yeah.
And there was, he had a beautiful clip there, and it was Trippier taking a free kick and the ball being curled into the box. Yeah, he was at
that. Is that at Wembley against Liverpool?
Liverpool, that was the weekend, Joe. He sent the clip. I've actually forwarded them. I might have it here somewhere.
I'm sure we'll find it.
Okay, what's the next one?
The next one is the Premier, the English Soccer 6. I've banked Man City to beat Cardiff. I've gone the field with Palace, Newcastle, the field Leicester, Huddersfield looking for the upset. Because I think Liverpool will beat Southampton and Man United will beat Wolves. And I'm looking for the upset.
Banker, Tottenham Hotspurs.
Brighton to beat Spurs. Obviously, you can shave it.
Trim it by a third.
You can trim it, yeah. I just think you've got to go to beat some of the teams. I think United, Liverpool and Man City are good things. So 162.
All right, Budge, the 10.
Yeah, on to the 10. I've gone the field with Burnley and Bournemouth. I've banked Man City to beat Cardiff. I've gone the field with Crystal Palace and Newcastle. I've gone Leeds United win and draw against Birmingham. I've gone Leicester win and draw against Huddersfield. I've banked Liverpool to beat Southampton, Man United to beat Wolves, Middlesbrough to beat Swansea. I've gone Tottenham in the draw against Brighton, and I've gone QPR win and draw at home against Norwich 288. Obviously, if you want to halve your perm, bank Leicester or one of those teams. Spurs. On to the 13 now. I've gone the field with Burnley and Bournemouth. I've banked Man City to beat Cardiff. I've gone Crystal Palace win and draw against Newcastle. I've banked Leicester to beat Huddersfield, Liverpool to beat Southampton, Man United to beat Wolverhampton. I've gone win and draw Aston Villa against Sheffield Wednesday. I've gone Ipswich win and draw at home against Bolton. I've banked Leeds to beat Birmingham, Middlesbrough to beat Swansea, and I've gone the draw on the away team. I've gone for Orebro win and draw at Elfsborg, Ostersund's win and draw at Sirius, and Djurgården's win and draw at Trelleborg. Obviously, those are the Swedish Allsvenskans games, 326.
Okay, Pudge, money time.
Onto the Premiership. I've added the fiver. I've gone Arsenal to beat Everton. I've gone United to beat Wolves. And I've gone over 2.5 goals in the Palace, Newcastle, Fulham, Watford, and Leicester, Huddersfield games, 3,200 at 200.
Good boy.
The Championship treble, I've gone Reading to beat Hull City, Stoke to beat Blackburn, and I've gone West Brom to beat Millwall by more than 1 goal.
Okay.
2,500 at 200.
Right, the next one.
Onto PSL, I've gone, when it comes up, I've gone Golden Arrows to beat Chipper United. I've gone Kaizer Chiefs to beat Amazulu, and both teams to score in the Baraka Pirates Supersport Black Leopards game, 3,600 at 200. And both teams to score fiver. I've gone Crystal Palace Newcastle, Leicester Huddersfield, Ipswich Bolton, QPR Norwich, and Wigan Bristol City, 3,700 at 200.
Now the big two.
Yeah, on to the Spanish omelette. I've gone Celta Vigo to beat Real Valladolid. I've gone Eibar to beat Leganes, and I've gone both teams to score, Getafe, Atletico Madrid, and Real Betis, Atletico Bilbao. I couldn't believe the odds, 3,100 at 200. And the six or next are Collis King. I've gone Liverpool to beat Southampton, Man City to beat Cardiff. I've gone Middlesbrough to win. I've gone West Brom to beat Millwall. I've gone Celta Vigo to beat Real Valladolid, and I've gone Seville to beat Levante.
Seville, you fancy them, eh?
Yeah, good team. They play. It's a Sunday lunchtime. They're playing a team, Levante. I can't have Levante. I've watched them a couple of times. Seville, good team. So I think they'll win,
Sorry, another message. What was that? Okay, here is the clip that we spoke to you about. Michael Leaf went over to watch our beloved Spurs play against our friends Liverpool. Was at Wembley. He had a good seat, and he took a little clip. I asked him to, and this is what we got.
Please score, score! No, Chipper, no. Last time he's going to cross it in to someone, and he gave it to me.
There we are. Good seat.
Yeah, Michael Leaf, good seat. He's very connected. Well done. Thanks, Michael. We said we need anything. If any of you get any clips of any of the major games, whether it be South African or Spanish or the British League, we always like to put them on here.
Yeah.
And Charlie Pigram sends us, because he's a Spurs fan. And Michael Aboud sends us Liverpool. And now we've got Michael Leaf. But you must have a few boys.
Yeah,
but send the Preston North End concede the
boy.
penalty or something.
They're all in the pub, Paul.
They're all in the pub, your boys. But just to end the show, last one standing. Let the record know.
I've got a few boys come through.
I've still got one.
Yeah, there's a few boys cruising. A lot of guys still got two, Paul. A lot of Shrudi's very quiet, sneaking in. Trevor Furry and co.
If you're at this stage of it now, but the last question. The boys who got 4 and 5, Power and Jackson and Furry and Giorgio, and these boys are going well. There, would you look for one team put all 5?
Well,
it's hard if you haven't
the English
done it
competition, I'm still in. They've gone 5 weeks, I'm still in.
Yes.
Haven't used United. Now, to me, Arsenal look good things. I just want to see what team they play tonight. Arsenal beat Everton. Just disappointed in Everton.
Can't put Arsenal in.
No, I know that. But just looking to go through, you know, I haven't used United as much as I think
Have you used Wolves?
This week? I've used Leicester, Bournemouth, Liverpool, Man City.
And Rory used Huddersfield.
Right, he was, Rory, So the Pinetown boy, he must have listened to Harold Rankin.
He must have listened to Rankin,
buried him,
Guys, that's it. Make sure you get those bets into Budgie, and they can get them. Gareth can get on the computer and do it with Budgie and get them out to us. But there's 123 people left, last one standing. Until next time, stay on side.